Top of the morning to you. Welcome to Daybreak Africa, coming to you from our studio right here in Ondo City. I am Daku.
And my name is Ikhonede Joshua Odeji. Welcome once again to another beautiful edition of Daybreak Africa. Good morning, guys. All right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, it's still Daybreak Africa. And yes, I hope you're enjoying the package we just gave to you. But now it's time to go straight to our discussions for today. This very beautiful Monday morning, one of the things we'll be looking majorly at is the technological advancements and Nigeria's tech ecosystem. Could this be a way out to Nigeria's economic woes and also a tool for government efficiency? We'll be looking at this holistically, because if we are to look at the world generally, tech is taking the center stage, helping countries with their economy, helping governments to monitor a lot of things, and it's cutting down a bit on corruption, especially if you look at what is happening in the United States as we speak. Well, to discuss with us in the studio today, we have a techpreneur in the house. He's also a publisher. He's all encompassing at the same time, ladies and gentlemen. Samson Fadele is in the studio. Welcome to the show.
Thank you
for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it's nice having you actually, and yes, great. But let's delve down deep. Nigeria's tech system generally, the tech ecosystem in Nigeria, technological advancement has gone to a point where we're having a system where people are more tech savvy in Nigeria. We've seen a period where people talked about the traditional SMEs kind of mode of doing business, the traditional ways of doing things, but today everybody is going tech oriented. How did you think this even came to be in Nigeria in such a record time?
Okay, well, tech is a development that a lot of us have been waiting for. You see, I don't want to say we got tired of doing things the way of our parents, but I want to say maybe we found a better way of doing things than our parents. You see, a lot of time our parents in business had reasons to battle a lot of things: efficiency, time management, and other stuff like that. Cost of probably production or cost of running businesses as at that time. But with the arrival of tech and with the rate of improvement, we are able to find direct solution to some of these challenges, especially in terms of efficiency, in terms of cost of running the business, in terms of time and meeting up with targets. You know, tech had been able to help businesses in those areas, and I think the best we could do is to keep improving on what we have already.
Well, if you look at other countries, I mean European countries, you discover that most of the time when we talk about developed countries, we don't talk about technology at the same time. Now we know for a fact that technology is already in Nigeria, but yet again we still have so many challenges that are facing the country, both economically and otherwise. However, what are some of this infrastructure that you think we need to imply the role of technology at the moment?
Well, I would say there's nothing that we need that we do not have at the moment. We might not just have the ones that are sufficient enough to curb everything. You see, if there's anything government needs to begin to look into now, you know, light, stable electricity is one of them. You see, tech will not survive in the absence of electricity. You know, the federal government have been able to do a lot, especially in the cities. I've been in Abuja in some couple of months now. I know there's significant improvement in availability of electricity in Abuja and in some other important places in Nigeria. But you see, in some other areas, much had not been done. And meanwhile, because of cost of living in those places, some of the tech enthusiasts are still not able to move from these rural areas to those areas. Meanwhile, they still contribute, even from their local environment, to the overall development of tech interface in Nigeria. So we cannot overlook them. We cannot undermine their ability. So if the condition that is available in big cities are also available in rural areas, it will help a lot.
Do you see a constraint as to why the rural area is not paid attention to?
Well, the issue is government generally, it takes time for things to get to the rural areas, except for ballot papers and ballot boxes.
Well, if ballot papers can get to the rural areas,
Ballot papers will even get to the areas that you can never imagine.
Get there.
Except for ballot paper and ballot boxes, it takes time for other things, especially amenities, to get to rural areas. And I think if there's anything we need to beg government for, is to put a kind of focus. As much as they are trying to improve the cities, let them put a bit of focus on the rural areas as well, such that while we are trying to improve, all of us are moving together, if not at the same pace, but relatively, you know, almost the same, such that nobody will be left behind, and we will not be hindering the dreams of some other people somewhere, striving to get things better, even for Nigeria.
But do you think those in the rural areas can really love or be more attracted to tech like those in the city?
Majority.
Looking at the fact that, you know, this cultural this cultural stronghold on people in the rural areas.
Culture had never been a barrier to tech. Let's start that way. Culture had never in any way been a barrier to tech. Majority of the tech solutions that we have sold in the recent time were developed locally and were sold in the main cities. we developed a school management system in our company. It's for school, primary, secondary, even universities. It's just like a portal where everything can be done without, you don't need to use paper to keep records. You don't need to. We developed that here in Ondo City, and majority of the clients that we have, schools that we have using them, are more in Lagos, in Abuja, in Ibadan, some in Port Harcourt. We have few in Akure here and places like that. So we have so many other business management tools that we have developed here in Ondo City, and we have sold out to other places. So it's just like rural area the kitchens where we cook majority of those things for people in the city to enjoy. So I wouldn't have said probably culture has a strong role. No, culture, to me personally, being in the rural area is less expensive, is less stressful, it gives you more time to yourself. The only thing is it costs us more to generate electricity for ourselves. Is either you are buying fuel constantly, or you are spending huge amount of money to fix a solar in your company, your house, and all these things. If government had made good provision of electricity, probably wouldn't be spending that much in getting electricity for ourselves.
Well, looking at some percentage of the rural area, you would agree with me that education is not really as it should be when you want to compare with the urban area. And to me, I think that that's supposed to be like a constraint when it comes to technology, education.
The challenge with education in the rural area is that it is less expensive. So I don't think we will expect much from a less expensive system. Currently, the government of Nigeria, I'm not sorry to say, had handed over the whole of education sector to the private sector.
That is the quality.
Yes, if you want quality education, your children will be in the private schools. It is what it is. So if you are judging from the fact that education is not moving as expected in the rural area, is because the big schools are in the major city, because only the people that have bigger means of income could afford them. You cannot be a civil servant in Ondo City and you want to put your children in a King's College or something somewhere in Abuja. Doing what? Because how will you even afford it? But here in Ondo City, there are 6 schools, private schools, that are still affordable, but you should expect that the quality will still be within the range of what you paid for. So I wouldn't have said how do I say it now? I would just have said government should do more, probably in the area of education, especially in the rural areas where people do not really have much to afford much of private schools. If government is doing more to fund education, maybe, and just maybe, education will do well more in the rural areas.
I was even thinking of something of, because yesterday when 2 days ago, last week, sorry, when the CEO, chief executive of Google, was with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu brought up a statement. He even talked about, he made mention of some Nigerian tech companies that were even bringing tech to localities, talking about the fact that they were internalizing tech into our local languages. Let's talk about our local languages and how it helps many youths to, you know, embrace this life of technology. How do you think it has affected many youths becoming so loving of this kind of system itself, local languages in technology?
Well, I will want to appreciate Bosun Tijani for that. When Bosun Tijani became minister, he came up with an idea, and he said he wanted Nigeria to be one of the countries that supplies tech experts in the world. And over time, he's been working on that. He's been working on achieving that goal. So probably he's been doing more in the area of training, retraining, like spending more into building capacity in tech, giving opportunity to people to learn even in their rural areas. Some effort has been channeled towards bringing experts even to the grassroots to train people sometimes at no cost, sometimes at little cost, or things like that. And I'll give it to government in that area. They are trying. And if effort like that continues to grow, more people, I can say, more people, especially the youths and the young adults, will be more interested in investing their time in, because the government is taking this seriously. Definitely, every other person will want to be involved. And with that, you will see significant level of improvement over time, because a lot of enlightenment had been made, a lot of people had been taught on the importance of tech. They are looking forward to becoming an expert in one or two areas of tech. You know, over time, even in our locality here, we are making effort on our own to make sure that even kids, we in our company have class for kids. We call it Kids Tech. It's just once a week, Saturdays. We bring them together. We have a bus that goes to their houses to bring them together. We teach them tech. It's just about 3 hours class from 10 a.m. to about 12:1.
And kids will sit and learn.
Yes. These kids, they are doing very well. We encourage their parents to get laptops for them. We teach them in class, give them assignment, and they come to submit their assignments with precision. Yes, and we are impressed to do more. And we've been doing this since 2022. Until now, we are still in business and we are doing it. And parents are interested. They are willing to pay.
No, I asked that question because one of the things I saw a psychologist talk about this is he said, anything technology, take it off kids. Social media and all that. Tech, anything tech, just take it off them, because if they become too experts before you, they begin to touch things that are kind of risky. How do you control them from touching those kind of areas?
See, when guidance is available, kids, they understand limits. And you see, when you teach kids to use things, especially things that are related to tech, because they are interested, they have high level of interest in those things, all we need to do as instructor and adult is to draw boundaries. At some point, there are limits to what they can learn or do. And at some point, there is no limit to what they can imagine as kids. You might place a limit on what you want them to know, what you want to teach them, but you cannot put a limit on their imagination. These kids can imagine things too. And you see, we have gotten to a place where nothing in the sense of tech can be called impossible. If you can reason it, you can bring it out. And if we are constructively engaging these kids from now, teaching them what we learned very late in our own time at a very tender age, by the time they will get to our age, they will not be thinking learning anymore. They will be thinking innovation. Because at a very tender age, they have gotten what we got very late in our own time. So when they will get to our time, learning will not be an issue anymore because they have gone past that level, stage already. At that time is to bring their imagination into reality, which is going to be more solution to more problem that we have presently. Some of them are looking into one or two things they feel should not just be the way they are. They are just looking at one or two ways to improve things. Some of them, we might really think they are lazy, but they are not. They just do not want to stress themselves because they can create alternatives to things. And these are the roots of development, even in the Western world. You know, in Africa, we believe in strength because in our culture, you are meant to work for things. Meanwhile, smart work is always better than hard work. Now, it is time for us to begin to engage our children in smart work, where they think of alternatives to add, like heavy works, putting things together to carry out actions. You know, there are some jobs presently that human beings should not even be involved. Robots can handle them. What is somebody doing inside a mine that is like 300,000 miles deep? What are you looking for? Robots can do these things
and go down deep and dig out whatever you're trying
to do. We have
dig.
seen mines collapsed on people, and some of them were not recovered to date. It happens everywhere. In South Africa, it happens in Congo, in all those.
In fact, South Africa recently, they counted lots of dead bodies from illegal mines.
All these things, if we are looking into them properly, we could have different robots to do different things. We will get more accurate results. We will get them on time, and we will be risking less lives. And a lot of things will be done. And plus, we will make more money.
For me, I was even trying to think of the fact that I like the fact that you believe so much in Nigeria's potentials in tech. Looking at what's happening. Before we even started the program, we talked about the fin technology in Nigeria being one of the leading places in Africa and all that, despite the fact that there is little government funding in most of these sectors. But from your own perspective, let's have like maybe an overview of what you think Nigeria stands to gain if tech is given proper funding and a free hand to operate in a country like this at this particular system.
I want us to see it from this perspective. If the fintechs could be successful with little or no government funding, imagine what will happen if government is taking more responsibility. You get what I'm trying to say? If they could record this amount of success with little or no support from the government, except for probably regulations and stuff like that, if they could record this much success, imagine government taking the forefront. Something happened during Buhari era. Pay stack. If I were the president, I wouldn't allow those guys sell those things. The government would have bought a very large share amount of shares in that company and retain those guys to continue to run that thing. Federal government will make money, those guys will make money, we will employ people, but it's gone. Sold to foreigners. It is what it is. And those are the things government needs to be looking into. There are ways the federal government of Nigeria could make money through these young guys, rather than just looking up to crude oil. A lot of things are happening, a lot of businesses are struggling, and these businesses, they are just breakthrough, but government refuses to see them. Yes, government is refusing to see them. There are a lot of guys putting electric cars together in this country, in their backyard. These people, they are not even experts, they are not even engineers. So why not put those people together, send them for good amount of training for a specific period of time, put a good environment for them to, you know, display their expertise. Even if it's to create an hub for them to just do their thing. Hub for them to put something out, even if it's just for civil servants, and take the money from their salary every month, make them come for mortgage of cars, mortgage of this, of that. Take your money from them, you recover your money, you make profit, you engage youth. Profits will be all around because it's going to be a win-win situation. Civil servants will be able to own car without prayer. The company will make profit over a long period of time. we'll be able to employ more people and engage more youth. Now, innovations will come, because if they are able to produce 2020 version of this kind of electric car, definitely they will do 2021, 2022 version of the same car, and people will have reasons to upgrade. Whoever is using 2020 version will be interested in 2025 and will be interested in taking more of his salary and say, okay, take more,
let me get more,
give me new one, take this one. And with that, it might not be so smooth at the beginning.
Yeah.
Majority of these advanced countries, they started those way. They understood this principle a very long time ago, and they've been working on it. Look at people like Henry Ford, look at Rockefeller, look at Vanderbilt, look at all of them. These were the men who built America. Majority of what they enjoy in America today were not really built structurally by the government. But these people, they worked, put resources together with the support of the government, and they are able to put things in strategic places. Men are doing that as well in Nigeria. We appreciate that. Dangote is doing a lot for Nigeria. Definitely. Right now, putting refinery. Tolu Elumelu is doing his own. A lot of people are putting resources together. Over the last few years now, Tolu Elumelu every year have been looking into youth entrepreneurs, trying to push funds into raising more people to do more. He's not doing it, it's not limited to Nigeria alone, it's all over Africa, and this effort are what we really appreciate as youth, and we will be happy if government could do exactly what these guys are doing on a very larger scale. We will have more successful youth, although it's not everybody that has the support that will be 100% successful at the end of the day, but I can assure you that a good number of them will be successful. A good number of them will be successful. See, we have gotten to a point in this in the world now that we cannot keep looking up to the West for aids on so many things anymore. Not this time when Trump is saying even those aids are making African countries lazier. Yeah. And he's right.
Oh, you believe it's perception of?
Yes, you don't pay tax in America.
Definitely, I don't.
Why should they give taxpayer money to aid your own country? For what? What is their gain?
No gain.
You should look out for yourself.
More immigrants instead.
Yes. Well, you should look out for yourself.
Yeah, we will look at ourselves.
We'll look into ourselves, definitely. Well, since we're talking about governance, but well, out of curiosity, before I ask that about governance, you earlier stated something when we were talking about education, that the parents get what they pay for.
Yes.
Does education have to be really expensive in order for you to get the best?
Yes, in terms of facilities, it has to be, because it costs a lot to maintain a huge amount of facilities to make life easier. You see, when you have a bungalow for school, you cannot be compared to somebody who has a whole estate for school. What it costs to maintain a bungalow is not the same as what it takes to maintain a whole estate for school that has capacity for boarding, capacity for this, that, a lot of laboratories and stuff like that.
They have to cover for expenses.
Yes, a lot of expenses. You will look for security, you will look for boarding staffs, teaching staffs. You begin to separate departments and stuff like that. Compared to a bungalow school, it's just a day school. Just some teachers, one bursar, one principal, one security, and you
doesn't have security though.
Yes. And thank God for all those schools. People like us who don't have
we are very thankful.
Anyways, that would have left to another topic, but that would be for another day, definitely. Now, coming down to governance and the issue of technology, how can we begin to imbibe technology into our governance system, whereby governance become accountable?
You see, that's going to be a whole lot of issue, especially in this country.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes, because you see, I don't want to sound like I am attacking some set of people, like probably politicians, but majority of them are not just interested in transparency. Yes, there's no beating about it. But let me give you
before you give us,
okay.
we can't be given.
All right, we'll talk more about that particular point which you just said, but let's go for a very short break. And this is where we're going for segment of Daybreak Africa that teaches you about one business idea or the other that you could start up wherever you find yourself. Well, do watch that, and we will be right here in the studio waiting for the second segment to begin. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Welcome back. I hope you're enjoying Go Start, and yes, I hope you are going to make a move. Preparation is the father of success. Daring is also a very good parent to it. Actually, preparation is the mother, daring is the father though. So you have to make a step actually, because Go Start has already given you the ideas to whatever you want to do. I hope you still have enough funds at hand to do that after all your celebrations done in Valentine. But that aside, actually, before we went on a short break, we were discussing about technological advancement and its technology as a way out of Nigeria's economic woes. And yes, Samson Fadele has been in the studio with us, our techpreneur. Before we went on the short break, Angela was asking a question actually, and you were about giving us something. But maybe Angela should just repeat the question again.
Well, the question earlier was how we can actually imbibe technology into our governance system, whereby governance becomes, accountable for. And well, you raised a very valid point, which you were about to elaborate before the short break, where you said that you're not trying to attack certain group of people, but
welcome back. I hope you're enjoying Go Start, and yes, I hope you are going to make a move. Preparation is the father of success. Daring is also a very good parent to it. Actually, preparation is the mother, daring is the father though. So you have to make a step actually, because Go Start has already given you the ideas to whatever you want to do. I hope you still have enough funds at hand to do that after all your celebrations done in Valentine. But that aside, actually, before we went on a short break, we were discussing about technological advancement and its technology as a way out of Nigeria's economic woes. And yes, Samson Fadele has been in the studio with us, our techpreneur. Before we went on the short break, Angela was asking a question actually, and you were about giving us something. But maybe Angela should just repeat the question again.
Well, the question earlier was how we can actually imbibe technology into our governance system, whereby governance becomes, accountable for. And well, you raised a very valid point, which you were about to elaborate before the short break, where you said that you're not trying to attack certain group of people, but you think that our leaders do not really associate well with transparency.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
I'm not saying they might have reasons for that. But I'm just saying from my own view, I think some of our leaders are not just interested in transparency. That's what I think. That does not mean they are wrong. Please just understand what I'm trying to say. Now, there are ways we can do things that cannot be tampered with technology. Let me give you an example. Web3, built on the blockchain technology. The blockchain technology takes actions in blocks, and they are connected by chains. This is non-reversible and is non-editable. It is tamper-proof. You cannot tamper with it. So let's now imagine that we take our identity management system on a technology like this, where you cannot, where you can edit your age, you cannot lie about anything. Once they born you, put your information on the Web3, there is nothing you can do about it. No means to cut your age. You cannot stay beyond your time in civil service. You cannot lie about your age even when you want to contest for election. You cannot be 80 something and come back to say you are 70 or you are 69. No, because it is there and it is not editable. But it's not only the leaders, even the followers, they are not interested in transparency. Some people have changed their age for almost about 10, 20 times.
For multiple reasons.
Yes, just to stay in active service. You are old, you are not as productive as you used to be. Go home, let new set of people take over from where you stopped. And in turn, it will help the country, because we need new blood in power. We need people who can work at the pace of events. In the recent days, a lot of things had skyrocketed, a lot of things had gone from the traditional way we used to do them. Some of these people cannot even operate their own social media by themselves. Now, we need people who will be actively involved, and are able to use tools that are available at the moment to solve problems. People who understand the power of analysis, who are able to take calculated, attempts at solving specific problems, because they have made analysis. They have analytically looked into issues, and they are drawing decisions based on the analysis done. Not just people that are picking from experience. That was how we did it in 1984. Are we in 1984?
History is important sometimes to
history is just to tell you where you are coming from. It might not be able to outrightly help you get to where you are going to. You have to figure it out. This is the point in our life in Nigeria where we need to begin to figure out a lot of things, especially when it has to do with way forward. Let's imagine that the Ministry of Finance in Nigeria is operating on a blockchain technology where transactions, where money assigned to different places cannot be tampered with. You cannot pad anything. Once budget, they bring budget, nobody's padding anything. They're just going on with what is happening. Nobody is paying anybody bribe to get any contract, because we are able to see what is coming to your company, and your company, we are able to see every penny going out from you to other people. We can trace them, and they are not editable. You cannot, it's not bank statement that you can, no, it is just what it is. But it seems to me that government is not interested in deploying technology to monitor all those things, and so it is what it is. We are just where we are.
I saw it play out in United States. This Department of Government Efficiency, headed by Elon Musk, to a point that many of the people it makes use of in this unit are very young chaps, extremely young chaps. They go out together, they go to companies. Now the whole country is almost turning up against them, looking at the fact they are revealing.
They will uncover anything, because there's no limit to what these guys can do with the power of technology. Sometimes you think you have buried it. It's just a matter of finding out. They will bring everything out. That's what I was saying about the kids. You have the ability to limit what you want them to know, but you cannot limit
their imagination.
These people, forget about it.
But you talked about something that was very vital. You said some of the government don't like the transparency parts of things, and the place of the
I'm not saying it because it is truth. I'm just saying it from my personal opinion.
No, your perspective also have some facts attached to it.
Okay.
There are some facts attached to it, and one of the truths there is the fact that it takes extreme political will. But me, from the way I'm seeing it, I see a government that could decide on this thing that is making many lecturers in school go on multiple strikes. IPPIS.
Yeah.
We've seen the government do things like TSA, Treasury Single Accounts, and things like this. Don't you think that gradually they themselves are looking for means to ensure it can be adopted to a large extent? So look at things like the oil sector, and how oil goes out and comes in. We talk about the fact that there is oil theft, and many times I've seen accusations where they say sometimes the ship that carries the oil that is being stolen is as big as a football field. Yes. How would the country said it got lost on the sea? So things like this, don't you think that gradually the governments can gradually infuse them into the system?
That's why I said it seems to me that transparency is not the focus. That's what it seems to me. IPPIS has its own issue, and much is not being done to correct, because when you build a technological system like that, it comes up with its own challenges too, and that is why there are improvements made over time.
Yeah, modifications,
such that there is new version, new version, because you are trying to look at what can be improved. Look at when WhatsApp started, and look at where it is now. Virtually every month or 2 months or 3 months, there is always something added,
a new update.
It's just to make you as a user see it as something new every time. They are just being user friendly. Like they want you to see reasons to keep using it.
Yeah.
If government wants transparency as it is, every step, every improvement, every action will be channeled towards the goal of achieving transparency. Since IPPIS has started, those people that are complaining about probably undue deduction of tax, undue this, undue that, till now, majority of those pending issues are still not solved. Reason why a sector of the economy will say they don't want to be placed on a system like that, because the credibility is faulty. Why will lecturers say they don't want it? The militaries, they are not placed on it because they don't want it. If the credibility of that system is top notch, everybody will be interested in staying in that system. So it's not a matter of imposing it on them. It's a matter of making them see a justifiable reason why that package should be used for them. If it satisfies me, there's no reason to complain. If I have a complaint and you attended to it promptly and my problem is solved, why do I have to complain again? Even if I complain, people will say you own too much. You never do you, and that's it. So I think now, even with the attempts they are making to, do the little they can as to use of technology, I think our focus, effort, funding and everything should be channeled towards not just using the technology, but to achieve transparency. IPPIS had its own advantages. A lot of ghost workers were discovered. Some of you work in the ministry of this and still be working in the ministry of this. You can't do that on IPPIS. You will pick one. Fraud will be detected, but that's good. Fine. That's on the side of ghost workers. But on the side of undue deduction, unnecessary this, unnecessary that, imbalance in this, imbalance in that, today you receive salary of 150,000, tomorrow is 85,000, tomorrow is even 35,000. All those things should be sorted already. That's what they call improvement, such that in the space of a decade, that system is balanced and perfect, and everybody is enjoying it.
But sometimes to even develop those systems and maintain them, the government sometimes prefer making use of foreigners instead of locally trained tech.
That still borders down to transparency. If they are using local industries like us, we will know everything about the program. They just want to take it to a place where even the indigenous do not have much access to the total information.
Don't you think that at some point it might even pose as a threat to the country?
It's not a threat.
Inviting foreigners.
Okay, inviting foreigners to do some things for us in a country, well, I will not consider it a threat once there is a standard memorandum of understanding or probably agreement of non-disclosure or something. And these are the things we could still do within ourselves. Government probably believed that the system here is not good enough, probably up to the standard they want, but they do not understand. What they do not understand is a system that is not used is a system that cannot improve. These indigenous things, to the foreigners, their own were indigenous to them too. The reason why you saw that level of perfection is because some people made use of them even within their own space. And that's why they are able to sell it to us. But you see, here in Nigeria, we cannot even trust ourselves to say this is just the beginning. You see, it is only a child that you have not given birth to that will not grow. As long as you give birth to a baby and you are feeding the baby, you are consistent with feeding the baby,
growth will definitely happen.
Growth comes. And that is why I said even some sector of tech, some parts in the tech sector in this country are still baby. They just need nurturing, encouragement, motivation, and you will see the growth. It's just a matter of time. There's no problem that we have in Africa as of now that we do not have resources, either human or whatever resources to solve them. Sometimes it's just that we do not believe in ourselves enough to get the job done. Majority of the things you see us use today that are indigenous, the reason why some of us in Nigeria are using them is because we cannot afford the foreign ones yet, and so they call them improvisation. They are not. They are our innovations. These are things. Instead
of improvisation,
yes,
our own personal
how will you call something somebody developed? You will now call it improvisation, an alternative to original. No.
Or they will call it low budget.
Yes, to us it is the original, and we will continue to build it, develop it until it meets the world standard. That's what we should be doing now.
But you see, the Nigerian mentality naturally likes to see everything produced from local as a second substandard to. Don't you think this issue of our perception, majorly towards our own local innovations, is just like this clothes making? Many people, it's hard to find. The first time I ever see this popular Italian brand, you know, this thing, the time the Gucci and all that. The first time I saw the actual brand, and I saw the one they call the Abamade. I'm like,
what's the difference? Now the issue is we have to stand at a point where we need to reorientate ourselves. Even the Aba people do not have to copy Gucci and name it after them.
For them to even copy something so right,
instead of copying it right, make it our own. Let's be proud of it. The issue is, it is the mentality. They themselves know that if you are not copying Gucci to make it look like that, it will not even move. Because nobody wants to wear Nnamdi in place of Gucci. So that when you come out from your own house, they look at you and they make fun of you. And those are the things we really need to. And I feel like we are feeling inferior. And that is why things are like that. You see, we cannot run away from our realities as Africa. Africa is the only place where you, as a black person, will walk without looking at your back. I'm telling you, if you go to the Western world today, you enter into a grocery, a security will follow you around as a black person. I'm telling you,
because they already have the mentality.
Yes, it doesn't matter what your intention is. Nobody cares. But here in Africa, yet we are still, even with all the freedom and everything we have in Africa, we still not are proud to call this place our home, and we still not have accepted the reality that nobody is coming to save Africa. I'm telling you, we need to sit down and save ourselves. That's all. Some countries in Africa have been receiving aids for decades, and yet there have not been major improvement. Look at Congo. Look at Niger Republic. Look at Benin Republic. Look at Mali. Look at Senegal. Look at Burkina Faso. Then, in the next few years, with the recent set of events, in the next few years, go and compare those countries, you will see the difference, because some of them are thinking towards self-help now. They needed to sit down and help themselves. Some of them are getting the message right. Now, you will see the difference in the next 1 decade. I'm telling you, you will see the difference.
But
it might take time, it might take energy, it might take resources. But as long as they do not give up and they are working on it consistently, you will see the difference.
But on a good day, we have this kind of fear being spread along. I remember the last time I had a discussion on tech here on Daybreak Africa. I think that was with Biodun Bangboy.
Okay.
We were talking about AI.
Innovate
here. Yeah. We're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and the fact that huge companies in the world are now looking at investing in Africa. You understand? But in their investment, it's more like a war between some of the top power plays, both the Chinese and the American, just to ensure that they dominate the AI space in Africa. And one of the things he said, which really scared me, was the fact that this social media thing lies to us about privacy.
Yes.
But there is a lot of information they are using those things to gather about us, to a point that we ourselves don't even know that this is happening. Recently, we saw Femi Falana sue, I think that was Meta, sued them to the courts to talk about the fact that their privacy laws is just a scam.
Yes.
And definitely, he needs to look at the fact that it gets back some reparations for those activities of theirs where they are talking about the fact that they are protecting our privacy, but they are not in the actual sense protecting our privacy. So that leads me to the place of cyber security, which we know to a very large extent. We talk about cyber security, cyber crimes. Nigeria is not strained to things like that. We have our fair share of strange people, and even the straight West also has an involvement in the insecurities in the cyberspace, in the tech space. So how do we address this one?
Let me tell you this. Social media is a snitch. That's the fact. And that's how they make their money. You go to your profile on Facebook and tell Facebook that you love music. Yes, you told them a secret about yourself. You love fashion. You're making a mistake. Because every time Gucci is looking for who to target for their product, Facebook will tell them that you said you love fashion. And they will be looking for you for that, for the fact that you love fashion. Yes, the ads placed by Gucci will find you to your doorstep. Even on your bed, Gucci is knocking on your door because you just made the mistake of telling Facebook and Instagram that you love fashion. There's a part of your Google, if you use Android phone, that is connected directly with the speaker of your phone. Once you talk about something, your social media begins to display those companies who sell those things. The day you begin to talk about cars is the day you begin to see Meccano cars, you begin to see Toyota, you begin to see under different brands of cars on your social media as you scroll up and down. You know what is funny? You will have to pay YouTube to stop showing you ads.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? You will pay and say, stop showing me ads. Then somebody somewhere is also paying to say, continue showing them ads. Because some people are paying ads. So these people, they stay in the middle and collect from both ends. That's what it is.
So they snitch between the
buyer and the seller. They sell your information. That's just the fact. That's the fact. So if Falana is suing them, he understands what he's suing them for. So somebody will stand somewhere to collect money, say, let me help you, tell them what you said. And they say, if you don't want me to be disturbing you with this, people pay me. And you will still pay. It is what it is. But that's it. That's it. But we will not rule out the fact that even the money they made from those sources are still being distributed, to still keep some people afloat in this country.
Yeah,
there are a lot of
some are gaining a lot from that.
Yes, there are a lot of content creators who are making the money from YouTube per month. Same as Facebook, same as so. Whatever it is that comes with its advantage. So we just have to create a balance and be making sure that the disadvantage is not overshadowing the advantage. So that's the challenge with Web 2 generally. You do not have total control of your own privacy, and that was what led to Web 3, built on blockchain technology, where nobody has access to anything that belongs to you.
Oh, you believe Web 3 is that secure? Very
secure.
Wow.
Very secure.
Anyways,
so if government is looking for top privacy with transparency,
Web 3.
That's next to road to fly. Okay, well, since we're talking about how Nigerians can begin, or Nigeria can actually get involved with technology to make us better. Do you think, to begin with, if we have the capacity to meet up with what we actually need at this point?
We really do. We do. A lot of people in this country, they have the will to get things done. It's just that the condition of things are not very perfect for them to achieve their goals. A lot of people left this country frustrated. They have tried everything they could. Things are not working the way they want any opportunity to step out, long gone.
Out.
Majority of those innovations you see in foreign places, majority of them
They have
done by
an higher
our guys. Go to all those big tech companies abroad. You see black guys everywhere. Is that the Africans, Indians, or Chinese? There is limits to what indigenous Europeans, Americans can do on their own. They rely more on the expertise of these guys too. And so if what we do at the end of the day is allow our guys to just, you know, go like that without finding tangible reasons to hold them down, engage them here, a lot of things will happen. Do you know how many people left Nigerian banks in the last few years?
To go for the fintechs.
They left massively. A lot of their software engineers, a lot of their cyber security officials, a lot of their even counter staffs. And just come today, they tell you your account manager has japa yesterday. Somebody you met on Monday, and you're coming on Wednesday, and they said your account officer is gone. They will now say your portfolio has been transferred to. You will now be wondering where are we going to start from. You start the story from the beginning again. When this bros was around, this was what we used to do, which is affecting a lot of things in this country, because we lack the capacity to retain human resources in Nigeria. A lot of people are fed up. A lot of people are fed up. A lot of businesses are affected by the price of things. You see, we used to, let me give you, this is about us now. We used to have a bus to convey children from their houses to the kids' tech on Saturday and return them. When we started in 2021, was it 2021 or 2022? When we started, the fare was just 100 naira to 100 naira, just 200, and per week I think I spent like 6,000 on the bus, and the children will go and come back and good. But presently, even 15,000, 20,000 is not is not enough to sort fuel. For we're not traveling out of Ondo just to pick children within Ondo, bring them to the location and take them back. You have to buy like 25,000, 30,000 fuel. How much do you want to tell the kids to pay?
And some homes can't even afford what to eat.
Some of them, even the monthly stipend, we just have to look away, because I hold a belief, I don't want to send those kids away. If those kids have the capacity to pay with the level of interest they have, they will. But they couldn't. So if I send them away, I am depriving them, not their parents. And actually the program is for the kids, not the parents. So I would defeat the purpose of that program if the only thing I want to do is send those kids away because their parents are not paying. We couldn't do that. So at some point we were running the business with our own money. I've seen a kid, I was there Saturday morning. It's been sick for almost the whole week. And I got there and the mother was like, he cannot go today because he said, no, it's okay. He wants to go. And they said he's been sick for, he said it's okay. He wants to go. Okay. He came. He was okay, proud. We returned him back and Monday he was back in school. That's how much interest they have in it. Now, you will get to their house with boss and the next thing you want to tell such a person is that because your parents have not paid, you have not, it doesn't make sense. You'll be causing a lot of problem. So we have to, whether they pay or not, continue to do it. Some of them, I have parents that are owing me for 12, 13 months and I still will not be able to send the kids away.
Well, hopefully things get better at this point.
We pray so. So that's how if not for the love we have for what we do, we could have shut down the business a long time ago. I could have left for UK. A lot of my friends are in UK now. So, but we will not.
Well, we are begging you too that don't go yet. No, let the children
we're not going anywhere. If we had wanted to go, we would have. But if all of us go, we would take responsibility for those kids.
People will come back and help us at the end. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Daybreak Africa.
Thank you for
it was
having
really
me.
enlightening and interesting
Thank you.
having you around. Well, Joshua, I hope you have been able to get one or two things.
Yeah, I got
guess
one
by
or two.
now
I
you'll be looking
got
for
one
a
or two.
particular skill to major on.
Angela, learn something too. Learn something too. Who told you that I don't know something?
I told you I don't know.
Well, you will get to find out as time goes by. I know something, and I definitely know I know something. But then, thanks so much, Samson, again, once again, for being a part of this, and your commitment towards the kids and all that, and business and everything is very, very, very beautiful to see. At least a youth that says you have the capacity to go, but you don't wish to go. Thank you very much. We appreciate. But then it's time to go for sports and enjoy another segment of Daybreak Africa, which I kind of love a lot. So definitely when we're back, we'll see our goodbyes on this particular Daybreak for today, until we'll meet tomorrow. So please enjoy sports for now, especially for you that watch.
Welcome back from sport, and it's still Daybreak Africa on your screen. I hope you enjoyed that segment of Daybreak Africa. Well, like Joshua earlier introduced, he is a big fan of sport.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I enjoyed myself. Everybody in my family loves sports. Mom, everybody loves sports. So I enjoy sports all the time. I don't know why ladies of today don't really
Who
like.
says ladies don't enjoy sports?
Do you enjoy sports?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Let's keep it there.
Yeah, okay.
Well, this is where we'll say our goodbyes. Well, it was an interesting episode of Daybreak Africa today. I know that you agree with me on that. And this is where we'll say our goodbyes. See you again next time. I am Angela Daku.
Yes, and my name is Ikhonede Joshua Adedi. We'll meet tomorrow, same place, same time. My name still remains Ikhonede Joshua Adedi. See you next time, guys. Bye.